This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on The South Today, Invercargill beaches get some TLC as the country marks Sea Week. An announcement is made around the future of Queenstown's Catholic primary school. And hundreds from all over New Zealand gathered together at Forsyth Bar Stadium last night. Kia ora, I'm Holly Buchanan. Car parts, rope, lighters and broken glass, just some of the rubbish picked up by a team of Southland environmentalists today. It's Sea Week across the country and Invercargill MP Sarah Dowie organised a beach clean-up to mark the event.
Sand, wind, rubbish and around 100 volunteers braving it all to clean up the Southland coastline. Hi, I'm Ruby Spink in Invercargill at Oriti Beach, where the MP Sarah Dowie's hosting a beach clean-up. It's Sea Week and all around New Zealand discussions are taking place on how to best protect our coasts. Sarah Dowie organised practical action for people to take part in this morning.
Oriti Beach is integral to our community here in Southland. It's one of the only beaches in New Zealand that you can still drive your car on. So it's really important that we protect that freedom and keep it clean and appreciate everything about the ocean.
People from Z Fuel, Invercargill Environment Centre, Environment Southland and 70 students from Otatata primary and preschools took part this morning. The Department of Conservation also joined in. Supervisor of Murihiku team, John McCarroll, says it's hard to measure the vast amounts of rubbish in our seas and on our beaches, let alone the impacts on sea life. But it's not good.
To sea creatures, as we know, there's a lot of rubbish. It'll strangle them, it'll get caught up, it'll affect their day-to-day life, suffocate, kill them, impact on their habitats where they can't actually go and operate normally to get food and that sort of thing.
And the next generation of environmentalists had a blast tidying up the beach this morning. They also found some interesting things amongst the sand, including a 1938 penny.
Pretty much this gumboot we've got here, because we're thinking to make like a craft of it, and also we found a lighter that still works, so we got to be very careful with it.
Well, I found this lighter and Caleb, my friend's still thinking that it's able to work. This is a gumboot and I found it under some sand pieces.
Yeah, okay.
Well, I've got a rope and it was right up on the hill. Well, this is the most interesting piece because it's a belt and it looks like it's been half burnt off or like ripped off.
Sarah Dowie says this sort of thing can't happen without the support of so many different parts of the community. I'm Ruby Spink for The South Today.
There was a big reveal in the Octagon this weekend when 18-year-old Emily Markman shaved her head for charity. The third-year University of Otago student was surrounded by friends and family who held the razor as she snipped off to raise funds for Lifeline. It's the second time she's shaved her head in support of a cause.
According to 2012 statistics, New Zealand has the highest rate of youth suicide in the OECD, and that's not okay. So there's a huge amount of health funding dedicated to physical illness, which is great. Like 4 years ago I shaved my hair off for cancer, so it's taken this long to grow back.
Markman, who survived depression, didn't get cold feet, though it took an army to cut through all the hair, with strangers also taking part. So far, Markman has raised over $400 for Lifeline via her Give a Little site. And the future of Queenstown's Catholic primary school and adjacent convent building is now more certain. Catholic Diocese of Dunedin Bishop Colin Campbell has announced the 144-year-old school will not be moved to Frankton, meaning the school and the adjacent historic convent can be redeveloped. Here's Mina Amso.
As St. Joseph's primary students finish class for the day is not yet over for school principal Trish Inder. She will be staying behind, working on plans for her school's redevelopment. So the plans have been set in place for the school. Literally, the school will remain on Melbourne Street, and despite some discussions earlier on that the school was going to be moved to Frankton, and also while the news of the school to remain here is reassuring for staff and the principal. Parents in the past had reservations about the current site.
The things that we're dealing with are we've got new schools being built, and so that's why being told that we're going to be able to upgrade this area is important.
The risks were considered too high for it to be a feasible relocation in a time where school redevelopments need to be considered. However, the decision to stay put means redevelopment plans that were put on hold can now go ahead. School principal Trish Inder welcomed the decision.
Yeah, I think it'll be a positive way forward.
The old convent building next door will get a touch-up too.
The convent was always part of the redevelopment of St Joseph's School. So the intention is to do whatever strengthening has to be done, upgrade it, we'll take account of all those needs. But it will become a very serviceable part of St Joseph's School.
We're really happy. We think it's a great decision.
It's great that the diocese has now made a decision.
It's a great site. It's in a really nice place.
Handing says the convent building would likely to be developed into a main administration part with reception, principal's office and staff room. Costs will be worked out and redevelopment phased according to funding availability. Mina Anso, The South Today.
Gibbston Valley team Tiki Tour is holding the lead as the God's Own Adventure Race moves into its second night. Tom and George Lucas from Queenstown and Mike Kelly and Florch Grimmett from Wanaka have surged ahead, determined to stay there after a day of abseiling and whitewater rafting on the Shotover River. Team Yearlands Family Wines and Team Sword Fox are in second and third places respectively. The Front God's Own teams are currently on stage 8 of the mountain bike, which is a 110-kilometre ride from Glenorchy to Halfway Bay via the Greenstone Valley. The race started last Saturday morning from the main beach in Queenstown Bay. The race is one of the most technically challenging expeditions in the world. Teams navigate their way across 300 to 500 kilometres of unknown terrain for up to 7 days. About 1,000 people turned out to hear Christian apologist Ravi Zacharias at the Forsyth Bar Stadium. Roselle LeBone has the story of the travelling preacher.
People from all over New Zealand arrived for Ravi Zacharias' Dunedin tour, which kicked off last night with music and shared testimonies.
And the dream is to see the reality of the gospel outworked in people's lives and communities, and to see such issues tackled like depression, poverty, inertia, fear, racism, loneliness, brokenheartedness.
Indian-born Canadian-American author and speaker Zacharias spoke on the role of truth in today's society.
Not in the screeching of tires, either on the grinding of brakes, or the roar of jets, or the whistle of sirens, or the howl of trombones, the rattle of drums, or the chanting of demo voices. Again and again is that still small voice of God.
Zacharias, who has addressed the White House, United Nations, Pentagon and CIA, covered topics from his visit to Auschwitz, which he said forever changed him, to meeting one of the heads of Hamas.
He looked me in the eye for 5 seconds. He patted me on both sides of the face. Kissed me on both sides of the face. He said, "You're a good man."
Zacharias will also be appearing at the University of Otago this week. Roselle LeBone, The South Today.
And still to come on The South Today, a new poetry walking trail opens in Dunedin.
Grandad loved his family and surfing, in that order. He taught me to surf, and we spent a lot of time in the water together over the years. When he died, I strapped the camera to the nose of his old board and filmed the paddle out at St Clair. Gillian's played the video on the big screen at his funeral. Grandad would have loved having everyone come out one last surf with him.
Gillian's Funeral Services, helping families celebrate the lives of their loved ones for generations. Gillians.co.nz.
Here is this week's Mole Mapped UV report. Did you know if you tan easily or have dark skin, you're still at risk of skin cancer?
If If you've ever been on a sunbed or been badly sunburnt, what are the chances you could have melanoma? Remove the doubt. Get a mole map.
Active Furnishers Limited, home of quality service with superior product and an in-house design team who are always happy to advise and create an imaginative solution for you. Active Furnishers Limited, part of Dunedin's design history.
If you've always dreamed of building a new home or renovating your existing home, make it happen. Go to the Home Show, 3rd, 4th, 5th of March at the More FM Arena at the Edgar Centre. Adults $10, children free. See you at the Home Show.
The University of Otago, New Zealand's only true collegiate university. For first-year students, the history, the expectations of excellence are
unfamiliar.
G'day, I'm next door.
Hi, next door. I'm Samantha Pascoe.
No, you're not. I'm Josh, Clyde, Science. And you are?
Sam, Hastings, Lauren Arts.
Tame, Auckland, Commerce. Osaka, Greece, Classics. History.
Silverhorn Active Manuka Honey from the natural Manuka forests of New Zealand. Buy 1 250-gram pot for $34.90 and get a second pot for half price. Order online at silverhorn.co.nz.
We're a 25 Moray Place at Dog with Tails Cafe and Bar. So we take coffee very seriously. We do what's called contract roasting, so we're creating our own roasting profile and then doing our own blends. We're really focused on the craft of what we're doing. You know, we're going back, instead of going on mass-produced sort of cheap things, we're taking the time to really craft what we're making. Make it so anyone can come here and have a feed and be able to get something they're able to eat or that they want to eat as well. You're kind of getting a taste of cafes from all around the world when you come here.
From rare to the recent, visit the legendary Hard to Find for your quality second-hand books. With the largest stock in New Zealand and a friendly book-loving atmosphere. For good prices, buying or selling, come visit 20 Dowling Street. Bring some more joy into your world by adopting one of our adult animals at SPCA Otago. Call now on 473 8252. Please adopt a pet now, they will love you forever.
Here is this week's Mole Map UV report. Did you know, in recent years, the number of New Zealanders dying from melanoma has been as high as the road toll?
If you've ever been on a sunbed or been badly sunburnt, what are the chances you could have melanoma? Remove the doubt. Get a mole map.
Travelling this weekend? Think slow.
Gillian's and Silverhorn bring you Rub of the Green, lawn bowls from around the south. Saturday night at 7, replaying on Sunday at 1 p.m. and Tuesday at 3:30.
Welcome back. Sunday afternoon saw the opening of a new poetry walking trail in Port Chalmers. The trail includes 11 ceramic tiles, each containing a piece of poetry inspired by the area. Rudy Adrian was there.
The scenic Back Beach Road at Port Chalmers now has an added literary dimension in the form of a poetry walk. Dunedin's Mayor Cole was there for the official opening.
This is very much in keeping with our City of Literature status. But also, if you go to the Octagon, you'll find 23 bronze plaques commemorating Dunedin writers or writers that have spent some time in or been influenced by Dunedin. In some ways, this is an extension of that. 11 beautiful ceramic tiles and wonderfully tactile as well as literary, with this little verse, almost a haiku on each one. It's lovely.
Ceramic artist Tina Gruber has invested a lot of time to make the 11 handcrafted tiles.
I've been working on it more or less for a year. That includes the design work, the research, going to the library and the Port Chalmers Museum, just to get a feel of the history and the boat building. I've kind of had a look at how rivets are actually made and how they were used in the old boats, and then kind of translated that into the ceramic process for the big tiles.
With Dunedin being recognised by UNESCO as a City of Literature, this could be the start of a lot more waterfront poetry to come.
There's dozens and dozens of writers, both past and probably in the future, who would like to, I think, contribute to this or be commemorated by this. So I can see this taking off all around Otago Harbour.
In the meantime, walkers can take in the beautiful surrounds of Port Chalmers Back Beach and read the poetry inspired by the area. Rudy Adrian, The South Today.
After the break on The South Today, we find out what hurdles were overcome by the winner of the men's title at the Cross Country Mountain Bike Champs.
Dunedin is recognised by UNESCO as a city of literature. Find out how this came about and what it means for the city. In Dunedin, a city of literature, 7 p.m. Sundays. Proudly brought to you by Hard to Find Books.
The University of Otago, an institute of world-class education and the social epicentre of the city, with outfits needed for more formal functions like the ball and for less formal functions like
The zoo? Are you sure?
Yeah, trust me.
Yeah, Dad, you'll definitely see me. I'm the one in the yellow and blue face paint and the onesie in the zoo.
For over 35 years, Roslyn Mowers and Heating have been selling and servicing outdoor power equipment and are well established in home heating, installing wood fires. Call in and meet the friendly team. Roslyn Mowers and Heating, 150 Kaikorai Valley Road.
Hi, welcome back to Alex Campbell Menswear. We're filming again from our Mosgiel store. We're having a 3-store wide, sizzling summer sale. It's the end of the season. We have sizzling prices in short sleeve shirts, polos, shorts, jeans. We've got specials in trousers. It's a sizzling summer sale.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
It's a sizzling summer sale.
Here is this week's Mole Map UV report. Did you know, in recent years, the number of New Zealanders dying from melanoma has been as high as the road toll?
If you've ever been on a sunbed or been badly sunburnt, what are the chances you could have melanoma? Remove the doubt. Get a mole map.
Garrador Dunedin, delivering quality stylish garage doors in Dunedin for over 15 years. New doors, replacement doors, repairs and maintenance are all part of Garrador's quality service. Garrador Dunedin offers a full range of modern quality doors to suit any home. Come visit the team at 553 Kaikorai Valley Road. Visit www.garrador.co.nz or call us on 488 5676.
Get finance and get on the road. Talk to MTF today.
Welcome back. Christchurch-based Anton Cooper showed why he's New Zealand's best cross-country mountain biker by winning the men's title at the National Championships at the Cardrona ski field on Saturday. The 2014 Commonwealth Games gold medalist had most of 2016 off with chronic fatigue syndrome, but took the lead on the first lap at Cardrona and was never threatened. The event, held in cool conditions with some rain at times, attracted nearly 200 riders over the 2 days with cross-country and downhill competitions. The top riders are preparing for the World Championships in Cairns later this year. And organisers of the inaugural South Dunedin Busking Festival say there's every chance the event will become an annual attraction in Dunedin. The event is being hailed a success after around 60 entertainers played for hundreds of people who browsed the musical smorgasbord on offer. Daryl Baser was out on the streets.
South Dunedin was alive with the sound of music on Saturday as performers from under 10 years to those aged 60 plus shared their talents. Hundreds of people were in South Dunedin's main street to listen and pay as performers took part in the inaugural South Dunedin Busking Festival. Some of the musicians had opted to be judged in the competition side of the event. This is 10-year-old Michaela Haupapa, who won the under 13 years category. The music group aged under 18 years section was won by the two Busketeers, Emily Rose and Gracie Young, whose combined age is 20. Both are writing songs already, as 9-year-old Emily Rose explains.
I wrote Nature and I sang that one, and also I sang River With Water, and I did Firelight with Gracie.
The group's 18 years and over section was won by the duo of Matthew Rhodes and Chris Butchard, who charmed the crowds just a bit more than Valley Bluegrass, who took second. In the Music 13 to 18 years event, D'Angelo Wade just pipped Hayley MacArthur, who was given a special mention for her generosity to other musicians. And finally, in the Music Soloists 18 years and over, seasoned performer Meg Smith took top honours. Organisers believe the event was a complete success, and there are strong rumours of it becoming another event on the South Dunedin calendar. Until then, there's the return of the South Dunedin Street Festival in November this year. Daryl Baser, The South Today.
And now recapping tonight's top stories on The South Today. Throughout the country, Sea Week is being recognised. Invercargill's Oreti Beach was the site of a clean-up today, with workers finding buried treasure. Dunedin Bishop Colin Campbell has announced Queenstown St Joseph's 144-year-old school will not be moved to Frankton, meaning the school and the adjacent historic convent can be redeveloped. And nigh on 1,000 people went to Dunedin's Forsyth Bar Stadium to hear travelling Christian preacher talk as the evangelist visits the south. And now a look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT. Welcome, Craig Page.
Good evening. Yeah, we've got an interesting story about some immigration figures which have come out today showing the net migration to New Zealand is at record levels, and that's being mirrored in Otago as well. It's more than 71,000 people have come to New Zealand in the past year, and just over 2,100 to Otago. That's a 44% increase on the previous year. And yes, we've had refugees last year, but the quarter of them are Australians who are choosing to call Otago home. So we've had a chat to Dougal McGowan, the Chamber Chief Executive. He's pretty excited about the figures and just showing what a great place it is to live here, and suggestions a lot of them might be heading up to Queenstown way, but they can't break them down any further than Otago at this stage. But there's also a bit of an unusual incident this morning with a burnt out and mangled car discovered on the Kokonga Bridge, which is between Middlemarch and Ranfurly. Emergency services called about 4:30 when a driver found the vehicle. No sign of anyone in the car, and it smashed into an abutment, and they're not sure whether it's been set alight or that it was burst into flames on impact. So police inquiries into that are continuing, and we'll have updates as we get them tonight as well. Mosgiel Pool. Consultation on the plans for a new pool closed late yesterday. We've had 500 people put their theories forward onto the potential sites. There's two sites being considered, one on the existing, where the existing pool is, and another in the Memorial Gardens. People are pretty mixed on where they want it. Doesn't seem to be one favourite over the other, but real concerns about parking out there. The council hasn't come up with a parking plan for a new pool yet, so that seems to be bothering the residents. But they're going to meet. The council's going to meet with the Community Trust out there next week and hopefully get things moving for that pool. So that'll be exciting for those people living out there. And we've also got an interesting travel story. We head to West Australia and look at the Taste Great Southern, which is an 18-day food festival in that part of the world, and leaves us all envious with some of the recipes there.
Sure will. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
And time now for a look at tomorrow's weather.
This weather update proudly brought to you in association with Silverhorn Sportsville.
Starting with today's southern view, taken of blue skies over Lake Wakatipu, and followed by a moodier looking shot from Oreti Beach. Looking at the situation, an anticyclone is covering New Zealand, bringing with it fine, settled weather for most of this week. To the southern outlook, Balclutha, Gore and Lumsden, light winds, a fine day and 23. Catlins, light northeasterlies and a fine day with a high of 19. To the central outlook, also some nice fine days. Alexandra with some light winds and 24. Light winds also and a high of 23 in Queenstown and Wanaka. Te Anau can expect light westerlies and 20 degrees there. To the northern outlook, clear skies ahead. Oamaru, light nor'easters, 20 degrees. Omarama, light winds, a nice fine day with 24. Light nor'easters for Timaru and 21. Twice also some light winds and up to 23 degrees there. It'll be a fine and cool night down to 6 degrees here in Dunedin tonight. Sunny and mild tomorrow with light to moderate nor'easters and a high of 19. Sunny periods and some cloud on Wednesday with light winds and 20. And Invercargill, you're in for a fine night tonight as well with an overnight low of 8. Sunny periods and 18 degrees for you tomorrow, but some cloud developing with moderate westerly winds. Fine and sunny with 20 degrees on Wednesday. And that's it from the team here at the South Today. Do join us again tomorrow. Good night.
This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.